Hi there. This is Jen Young of Spitfire Fitness Arts, and I am so happy and honored to be sharing Belly Love Day with you. And wow, what a day it is! The solstice is today. It's Father's Day here in the U.S., and it's also International Yoga Day. And apparently, that was a huge event in India, sparking some controversy, as well as really opening people up to the practice. And from what I understand, it was huge. So once we're finished today, I'm going to go check out the news about that, and maybe do some participating in an International Yoga Day too. So it's about 1:04 here. Solar noon here in DC is at 1:10. So we'll actually do the belly love practice at 1:10. But until then, I'll just share a little bit about my journey with belly love. So it's not a journey that happened like instantaneously. It sort of happened over the course of about a year and a half, actually. So I really started becoming aware of the power that we have within us from a yoga class that I took from A.G. Mohan, who is a direct pupil of Krishnamacharya, who's kind of considered the grandfather of modern day yoga. And he offered a practice of making an offering to your divine inner fire, which in Sanskrit the word is Agni. And Agni is actually also the god of fire. So as you're thinking about whatever it is you're wanting to release or to bring into the world, you would say swaha, swaha. So, and making that offering to your divine inner fire, which is actually in the upper belly. And that felt very powerful for me. And he showed us how to integrate that with our yoga asana practice. So that's where I first kind of got a glimpse of it. But what really kind of brought the idea of really loving our bellies kind of came from two sources. So one is a friend of mine who is an activist of self-love, and he shared with me basically the practice of bringing your hands to your skin. You know, it can be your shoulders, your belly, and saying I love you, just as a self-love practice. And he showed me this because I was working through some issues around abundance and money. And so that really was a powerful practice for me, just saying I love you to myself in surprising ways. And then also I had this experience actually in the sun, and since it's the solstice, I'll talk a little bit about this. So I was hanging out by a river with some friends, and I just really missed my childhood relationship with the sun. I was just always in the sun, always swimming or sunbathing or just playing outside. And there's a particular feeling that comes to me when I'm just lying in the sun, and it's like this little pulsation right in the upper belly. And I really wanted to tap back into that, but I was feeling a little shy and nervous about exposing my belly, and that's because I had been feeling that my belly wasn't what it used to be, and it wasn't in the shape that it had been. And I just kind of really took a look at that and said, but my belly's pretty healthy, and if I want to have the sun on my belly, I'm going to do it. So that's what I did. I took the shirt off and lied back and just allowed myself to be with the sun. And I was there for hours. And as I was there lying in the sun, just feeling the warmth on my belly and feeling how my skin was just drinking in the sunlight, I had this realization that we are really just like plants. We respond to the sun in a lot of the same ways, but we've just kind of forgotten that, and we've tapped into this fear mentality of the sun because of skin cancer and that kind of thing. And it really showed me the connection that we have in our belly with the sun. Like that's what where I'd always feel it is like in the solar plexus area. And it made me curious, well, what is this? Is this like our solar panel right here in the solar plexus? And it kind of drinks in the sun and gives us energy. And that's the experience of it that I had. And so that kind of helped me shift how I saw the belly. And I just began to have my hands on my belly a lot more after that. And I started to kind of notice, okay, we have all these little hairs on our belly, but then we have these hairs. And as women, we're always trying to get rid of that kind of hair. And as I thought about that, I started thinking about where that goes next and how it creates this cycle of self-loathing and comparison with this artificial ideal. And so how can we heal from that? And I began to realize, well, the practice that my friend had given me of just having your hands on your body can be really powerful. And another thing that sort of came in is the Ho'oponopono prayer. And if you're not familiar with that, it's a Hawaiian prayer, and the idea behind it is that we take responsibility for our lives, for as co-creators with the divine. Everything that happens in our life happens because we created it. And so the whole Ho'oponopono prayer is a way of healing that and taking responsibility at the same time. So I really love the idea of marrying the two. And so that's the practice that we're going to do now. So for those of you who are watching, you can just find a comfortable place to sit. It can be on a cushion as I am, or it can be in a chair, or if you feel like lying down on your back, that's a beautiful way to practice as well. And I'm gonna just shift back a little bit because I actually have my bare belly right here. So I'm gonna just be vulnerable and let it hang out there if I can get the right place. Oh, that sort of does it. There we go. And I'm just gonna bring my hands to my belly. So once you find that comfortable place, you can just bring your hands to your belly, and you can have your eyes open or closed. And just feeling your breath now. And as you breathe in, imagine you're bringing in the vital life force or the prana into your body, or you can think of it as chi. And as you breathe in, feeling the air and that life force coming into you, you can feel it move into your heart. And as you feel that energy entering the heart, you can just tune into your heartbeat. And then feel your heart, the energy of your heart mixed with that prana. Feel that energy moving through your arms and your hands and into your belly. And if you find that there's a particular part of your belly that needs a little extra healing, you can maybe change your hand position. And just feeling with the breath, that energy flowing from your heart through your hands into your belly. And then we'll recite the Ho'oponopono prayer. So you can just repeat each line after me, and we'll do about 3 rounds of this. I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. Just reconnect with your breath, feeling that heart energy moving through your hands into your belly. I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. And one more round. I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. Thank you. Just continue to have your hands on your belly, just breathing with whatever comes up for you. Allow yourself to be really aware with what your belly is experiencing in this moment. And if you would like to name what you're experiencing, you can do that, or you can just tune into any images that might be stirring up for you. Or even if you're not feeling anything at all, just noticing that as well. And then you may even notice a message that your belly wants to give back to you. You can just make note of that as well. And then we'll just allow our awareness to return to the breath, just feeling that vital life force coming in as we breathe in. And just allowing yourself to soften and relax as you exhale. We'll just stay here for a couple more breaths. And then as you're ready, you can start to feel your awareness come into your entire body. And just allowing some gentle movement to come back and allowing the eyes to open. Great. And we'll just let the hands come either onto your lap, or if you want to just bring them by your sides, especially if you're lying down. And we'll just take a deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, just letting everything out. Do that one more time. Deep breath in. And exhale. So thank you so much for practicing with me today. I just wanted to also take a little time to share a little bit about the activity guide that we have going on today. So if you have already signed up for Belly Love Day, you've probably already received your activity guide for today. And there's lots of juicy stuff in there. So just feel free to pick and choose, even if it's like one thing, or maybe saving it for later on in the week when you need to kind of reconnect with this belly love. That's juicy too. So there's some recipes in there, a couple of yoga practices that are centered around the second and third chakra, which are in the belly. And there's also a beautiful playlist with some music by several of my friends, my soul family. So Angela Blue Skies, Cassie Ray, Keith Duckworth, and John DeRosa. So definitely give that a listen to. Even if you don't practice yoga, it's just a great chill out playlist that will bring you a lot of joy and introduce you to some new music, I hope. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about dads and dad bellies, since it's Father's Day. And as I was thinking about belly love falling on Father's Day, what immediately came to my mind were these pictures that are in photo albums of my dad and either myself or my sister taking a nap on his belly. And that just brought me a lot of joy and made me also think, a lot of women have been working with belly love, but it's just as important for men, and especially in this day and age, men are dealing with just as much pressure to be perfect physically as women are. So being able to let that go a little bit and really love your own belly can be just as powerful for men. And also it's a great day to just show appreciation for your dad's belly. I know not only was my dad's belly a place where you could take a nice comfortable nap, but it was always good for entertainment. It's my belly drumming was very common in our household. So depending on how good a meal was, it would have a different sound in the belly. So, so as I think about dads and dads' bellies, I definitely think about those good times. So in the activity guide, there's also an activity specifically for dads, well, for the family, in appreciating dad's bellies. So take a look at that. And also, I just want to acknowledge the sun, our Father in the sky, who gives us so much, and to be here on the longest day seems really powerful. So I just wanted to do a little chant of the Gayatri mantra, which is in honor of the sun. So bear with me in my my chanting, but I'll just do one round. So the Gayatri mantra is one of the oldest mantras that we know about. And as far as we know about it, it is a mantra to honor the sun and the power of the universe, which is really also what belly love is about, that we have that power within us. So you can just take a deep breath in and just allow yourself to absorb the mantra. If you know it, you can chant along with me. Om Bhuvod Svaha, Tak Savitur Valerium, Bardo Devasya Dimahi, Diyoyonma Kracho Dayat. So thank you so much. And just finally today, I wanted to share that belly love is just beginning, and it's it's a revolution in my mind. I've been so grateful to hear from people who participated in the 30-day challenge in April, what their experiences have been and the blossoming that has happened for them, and healing and deep transformation. And though I had some clue that that would happen, I just am overwhelmed by the magnitude of what people are experiencing. And so I feel very called to belly love and being an activist in the self-love movement, which is just really starting to grow. And so where I'm going to go from here is the activity guide that you received if you signed up for Belly Love Day through my email list. That is basically a part of a bigger package that I'll be launching over the next couple weeks. So from there, we have some activities in the guide. I'll also be sharing some really interesting information about the science that's happening in the belly and where that's kind of taking us, really discovering how powerful it is just from a scientific biological perspective. Also sharing a little bit more about the yoga perspective, especially from tantric yoga, about the power, the divine power within us. And that's really in the belly. Like the second chakra and the third chakra are very powerful points for connection with the divine. And also, you know, tapping into our Jedi powers, like that's for real. You know, in martial arts, there's a lot of focus on the Dantian, which is like the core of your core, and it's the center of your power. So we'll be diving into exploring what that is like to really tap into that power. So I hope that you'll stay tuned. I'm going to post a link to the page just in case you didn't sign up. And that way you can stay in touch with us and find out more about what's coming next. And also, you know, feel free to connect with us on Facebook. You can either like Spitfire Fitness Arts on Facebook, or if you want to join the Warriors of Belly Love group, you can just do a search for that and have a request, and I'll bring you in. So there's a lot of juicy stuff in that group, people posting from the 30-day challenge, pictures of bellies, just shared experiences of what's been transformed for people. So I would love to hear how today was for you. You can also use the hashtag Belly Love Day if you want to post anything on your social media, or hashtag Belly Love Revolution is also great. And you can tag me at Miss Jen Young. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. I'm probably on it in some way. So I'm so grateful to have you here today, and thank you for joining me on this amazing journey. And I am so excited to see where we're going. So thank you so much. Namaste.